Yeah, what's up, everybody? This is your AEW Dynamite Road Rager post show. Aleister Black debuts in AEW. Dan Lambert cuts a strange promo, and Cody has a strap match. Johnny's back. Let's go. Yeah. Johnny, you're back.
Well, we're back on Wednesdays again. It's nice to be back on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
First Dynamite show we've done in a long time, yeah. Where's Glenn?
Glenn, he didn't watch wrestling tonight because he's watching hockey. How come you're not watching hockey?
Well, I'm multitasking here. I'm trying to rough it out here. It's tough, but, I thought I'd do it for Dynamite because 1 week Dynamite was good, 1 week Dynamite wasn't good. So I'm like, well, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
So we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I haven't really talked about AEW on a few of these shows that we've been doing here on the Ringside Report Network. Of course, I'm here on after Raw and Smackdown every week. We haven't been on after all the AEW shows because they've been all over the place. Last week it was back on Wednesday, but this week feels like they're back on track, right? AEW feels like over the past month and a half has been kind of waiting for this moment, waiting for back on Wednesday nights, back live in front of a real audience, doing real professional wrestling again. It felt like filler for a long time. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact they weren't on Wednesdays, so they knew they weren't going to pull a huge rating, so why give big things away on some of these kind of Friday night 10 p.m. shows? Wait, save it, and they were saving a lot of it for tonight. A lot of it for tonight. Aleister Black showing up tonight? Shocker. And that was right after Andrade El Idolo made his in-ring debut for AEW. Of course, there's a connection there. Zelina Vega, who just came back to WWE last week on SmackDown. Pretty shocking, actually, to see Zelina back. No one really expected Zelina back on Friday night. And then now Wednesday night, her husband, her real-life husband, Aleister Black, debuts on AEW Dynamite just after her former, partner there on TV, Andrade. She was Andrade's manager. He just makes his in-ring debut. So that was real interesting to see everything go down tonight and AEW bring back a real show. You heard the real crowd giving real reactions, and the talent had to play off the crowd, which is exactly what wrestling is supposed to be. But it hasn't been like this for so long, John. It's almost like, oh, yeah. Sometimes the crowd does stuff that you don't expect, and then you have to, react, and the show changes based off the crowd. That hasn't been a thing for, almost 2 years now? Like a year and a half?
Well, we had it for the pay-per-view, right? They had a full crowd for that, and I think on the Saturday Dynamite, too, they had a full crowd. So, I mean, you felt the energy. It's just, this had a different kind of energy because it wasn't the same place anymore. Albeit it was still in the same state, different areas. So, I mean, you kind of felt it. The energy was a bit different. You saw the fans get more involved than usual by trying to get into the ring. So that's always a fun little aspect to wrestling that you haven't seen in a very long time. So it's very fun to see something like that. But it was fun. It was fun to see the crowd get involved in the action. It helps make the show feel alive. I mean, that's the problem right now, I think, with WWE. It's just the shows kind of feel lifeless.
Yeah, and I think it was a problem for AEW, too. Even with the fans that they had, the first few rows were the wrestlers, so you didn't see real reactions on camera of people that were paying tickets. They weren't spending their money. They were, being paid to be there for the most part, so it wasn't a real crowd. And then the Jacksonville, faithful, they're kind of like rooting for AEW as the hometown team, so they're not really going against AEW. They're not going against the grain in any kind of way. The fans tonight in Miami felt like real wrestling fans who are going to cheer what they want and boo what they want, and sometimes they're going to chant things that you might not expect, like when Kenny Omega is in the ring there with Don Callis doing a promo, and the crowd starts chanting, "You got fired," to Don Callis. That's not in the script. That wouldn't have happened in Jacksonville at Daly's Place. That's certainly not happening in the Thunderdome, but it happened tonight in Miami. They were alluding to Don Callis getting fired from Impact Wrestling, and they chanted that to him, and he had to react, and he had to address it. He had to say something there, which I was like, wow, what a breath of fresh air to hear a crowd that may kind of go off script and get real at you and make you react in that moment. In that moment, Don Callis had to address the chant, and he did, and the crowd in Jacksonville wasn't given that. It was, it's like the crowd that would show up to NXT at the Performance Center or wherever they would have at Full Sail, wherever they would have their shows. They're very, pro team. It's like their home team, and they're rooting for them, and they see them every week. A wrestling crowd that is there for you every week is very different than a wrestling crowd that sees you maybe once a year. It's different, right? It was a different vibe tonight.
And you're going to feel it next week, I think, when they're in Texas. That should be a very interesting atmosphere there. And the card looks really good, too. I mean, if anything, they did a very good job of hyping us for next week's show, which seems like it's going to be really good. Fighter Fest Night 1.
Yeah, Fighter Fest Night 1 in Garland, Texas, next Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite. Next week will be in Cedar Park. The week after is going to be in Garland, Texas for Fighter Fest Night 2. And then they round off the month with Fight for the Fallen in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is going to be a pretty big deal show as well for AEW. I'll tell you what's going on next week real quick. It'll be Carl Anderson versus Jon Moxley for the IWGP United States Championship. Christian Cage going one-on-one with Matt Hardy, and Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage for the FTW title. 3 big matches set for Dynamite next week. We'll preview those in a little bit. I want to run down what we saw here tonight on Dynamite. It was technically called AEW Road Rager, and we opened the night with a very good match between Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall, a strap match that Cody wound up winning. Johnny, you were telling me before the show this was your favorite match, right? This was match of the night for you?
Well, I think maybe it helps it's the first match. It felt like the crowd was really into every little thing that they did, but it just felt like a match that had a lot of intensity to it. Every little thing that they did, they took their time with it, and it just felt like it came to the conclusion you knew it was going to happen, but it was a satisfying ending. So I thought, top to bottom, that was pretty much what you want for an opening match. And to me, I don't think they matched anything else on the show like could match what you saw in the opening match.
Can I give you a controversial opinion, John, about what my favorite match of the night was? And you're going to be very surprised. I really liked Orange and Statlander against Blade and Bunny.
At certain points, it was okay. At certain points, it just felt like they were losing the crowd a bit. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. There were really good moments in that match. The finish was good. They did some pretty amazing stuff. Statlander's really good in the ring. I like that match. I thought the strap match was good, too. The opener, Cody and QT. QT got busted open. But there was just weird stuff that happened. Like the lights went out for no reason in particular. What was that about? That was like a technical difficulty.
Well, you found out later.
Was that was Aleister Black earlier?
Well, think about it, because he took out Arn Anderson. So it's like kind of a thing like he's coming, but it wasn't the time yet for him to come. Like,
it was
he was just picking his spot kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. And the finish of the match, like, it was very quick. It didn't seem like Cody had to struggle much to hit the 4 corners to win the match.
Yeah, like Cody kind of became like Superman at the end right there, but
yeah.
that's Cody. He became Superman. So
yeah. I don't know. I wasn't as in love with this match as you were. I thought it was okay, but I was like, it was fine. I thought the Bucks main event match was like a little more fun. It was wild and crazy and a little like, who's on offense right now, you know? You asked that a couple times watching this match. You're like, what? Who's in control right now? Because it was just like, oh, I hit a move, then you hit a move, and my tag team partner is going to take you out, but then I'm going to get taken out, and then it's just, it was, everything happening all at once, but it was fun too. I liked the main event. I didn't really dislike anything on this show, and I think that's really the main takeaway. You could call whatever you want the match of the night, but overall, I think everybody enjoyed the show tonight. Like, there wasn't anything really bad on this show. Could you point to anything bad?
Well, I can't say the trios match was exactly my favorite thing to see. I mean, it was, again, okay, but it was just that. It was just okay, that trios match.
FTR and Wardlow beating Hager, Proud, and Powerful. It was all right.
But that's it. I wouldn't say it was, like, the best thing you saw. I wouldn't say, like, it was on the same caliber as the other ones.
No, but it wasn't bad, right? Like, there was nothing bad tonight. I thought it was just a solid show top to bottom. And, yeah, you may have your favorite moments, but I don't think you could really point to anything and say, oh, that was, a real low point in the show. I thought it was just a solid, well-put-together wrestling show over 2 hours where I wasn't bored or, wanting something to end right away. A lot of times I watch wrestling and I'm like, why isn't this over yet? I didn't feel that tonight watching AEW. Nothing dragged. Nothing went too long. Everything was tight and well put together. So I think overall, show-wise, was really good. Overall, solid show. We got to talk about Aleister Black. So Arn Anderson, after Cody Rhodes earlier in the night had won a match, much later in the night, Arn Anderson comes into the ring for, I guess, an interview with Tony Schiavone, although it wasn't really clear why Arn Anderson was there. Right? Why was Arn there?
Well, I think it was just kind of like, he's on a bit of a roll. His, like, team, in a sense. Like, Cody won. His son, Brock, debuted. Like, things are going good for him right now.
All right.
It's pretty much, like, just get his thoughts on it.
Okay. So then the lights go out, and Aleister Black is there. And they're calling him Tommy End and different things, and then they're like, no, this isn't Tommy End. This is something different. This is something more sinister. This is Malachi Black. And Malachi Black hit his Black Mass. I don't know if they're still calling it the Black Mass, that spin kick he does. Hit Arn Anderson with it. Then Cody Rhodes hit the ring. He got hit with the Black Mass kick. And Aleister Black walked away. Or I guess we should call him Malachi Black. Malachi, also the real-life name of the third Massey brother, the third Buck. Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson have a brother named Malachi who also wrestled for a time. And now apparently giving his shoot name to Aleister Black. Malachi Black. Did you know that the Young Bucks had another brother named Malachi, John?
I didn't, but they probably thought it sounded good, and they liked that they could still kind of call him Aleister Black, just give him a different name. So, yeah, it's not bad, actually. I actually like Malachi Black more than Tommy End. I think it's a better name.
I kind of like Tommy End. I don't know. Malachi Black, you're kind of taking something from Aleister Black, I don't know. It feels like, Big Boss Man is Big Bubba Rogers type of thing. You know what I mean? Like or who came first?
That's what people see.
You know what I'm saying? Like IRS, when he was IRS in WWF, he went to WCW, he was Mr. Wall Street. That's what it kind of feels like here. It's like, it's Aleister Black in WWE. Here, he's Malachi Black. I didn't think you really needed the Black name. But whatever. Andrade was never Andrade, I don't think, before he was in WWE. Now he's still Andrade. It makes sense. I mean, you got a lot of notoriety out of those names. You want to kind of use them, but it does feel a little bit like here's the bootleg version of this guy that you've seen before, you know? In this bootleg wrestling company, which is like not really the look that you want.
Well, I think it's what people associate with, though. That's it. Like, I mean, you could dumb it down and say, like, oh, this is like the cheaper version kind of thing. But, I mean, if he comes out and, he's a better wrestler in a sense, like, is it not the better version in a sense then?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that he won't be awesome and, it won't catch on, but just kind of face value right off the bat, you're like, well, it's a little bit like what he used to do, but hey, that's fine. It was great to see him. I think the main point is it was amazing and shocking to see him. He was just released by the WWE, like, 2-3 weeks ago? Most people have 90-day no-compete clauses. I guess he got his taken off. I guess he got his no-compete taken off. I wonder if that had anything to do with his wife going back to WWE. Is that part of their deal? I'll sign back, but let my husband go wrestle, all right? What happened there?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the news will come out about all this and in due time. I'm sure he'll do an interview, explain it all. So just wait and see on that one. But yeah, maybe some sort of deal was worked out. And yeah, he was lucky. I mean, Andrade got it right. So it goes to show, like, yeah, there's 9-day compete, but they can also get rid of that. So deals can be made.
Well, good for him, right? Good for Aleister Black.
It's great for everybody. Great for people who watch.
Great for us. It's another great talent to show up in AEW, and it looks like he's going to be wrestling Cody Rhodes at some point. That'll be fun.
At some point. I don't think it's going to be right away, but, maybe the pay-per-view.
Yeah, in September. I could see that. I think they will have to stretch it a little bit, but they might not stretch it all the way to the pay-per-view. We'll see. But that's for sure the match that they're going to be building towards. Aleister Black, or Malachi Black now, versus Cody. You see, Aleister Black's wife, Zelina Vega, took some heat. She had a tweet out while she was fired where she said, I support unionization. And apparently after she got rehired, she deleted that tweet. It's no longer on her profile, and people are kind of giving her heat for re-signing with WWE and kind of not sticking to her guns and all that stuff. But, she probably got a great deal. She probably got a deal where she was able to work for WWE, make some serious money, and continue her Twitch channel. So can you blame her for taking the money? I don't know what people want. I applaud Zelina Vega for getting that WWE money. Good for you. However, they're going to bury you now. As you saw, she lost to Liv Morgan right off the bat as soon as she showed up on SmackDown. That was funny.
Well, I mean, let's just face it here. I mean, she's good, Zelina Vega, but in terms of talking, in terms of wrestling, you can't really say you've seen a great Zelina Vega match. I mean, she's all right at best in the ring, but it's not like amazing matches. I know you pushed her like crazy for the women's title, but that was a joke pretty much. Like, she was really no threat for Asuka at the time.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do with her, but it wasn't a great comeback for her.
Well, she could be a great valet manager. Like, she's great for that. I think keep her to that. Let her wrestle every so often, but her talking is the best selling point for her.
I don't know. I don't think she's so bad at wrestling. Like, she's not the worst wrestler in their division. She's not the best, but she's not the worst. Like, is she that much worse than Liv Morgan? Is Carmella that much better than Zelina Vega? Is Eva Marie better at all?
Well, it's a different show, but I think they're pretty much all on the same level on SmackDown. But I mean, that's them, right. And then you add like Bayley and Sasha, and it's like they don't compare. So that's the problem. It's like you have the low level and then the high level, and it's like that's the problem. Like, you don't have that in between.
Yeah, there are two leagues in the WWE women's division. There's the league that has Charlotte and Rhea Ripley and Bayley and Sasha and Becky Lynch and sometimes Asuka, and I know there's somebody else in that league, but I can't think of them. Right?
You can say Becky, but she's not there.
Bianca, Becky. Bianca's now in that league. Rhea Ripley is now in that league. You know, they've done a good job of elevating them, but there was 4. You know, the 4 horsewomen, that's the kind of upper echelon of WWE, and they've kind of allowed Bianca and Rhea to get into that league, but it's still kind of like a big jump down from those 4 or those 6 maybe, and then everybody else in WWE. And yeah, Zelina's in that lower tier. It is what it is. It is what it is.
But, you know, it's good that, you know, Tommy and Malachi Black, whatever you want to call him, it's good that he's on television. That's the main thing. And you get to see him now wrestling again. I think there was a lot of potential, and it's kind of too bad. Like, he was just about to come back on WWE and then gone.
Yeah.
So for him to come back this quickly, it's great for him to keep his wrestling career going. So it doesn't like just stop for like a while. I mean, a lot of guys have been stopping because of the whole pandemic. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. He's been waiting, 6 months? Because they just don't use him. So it's kind of like he's already been like waiting to get released.
Yeah. It's good, man. It's good for him, and it's good for AEW because he's going to do some really good work. He's a young guy. He's got tons of potential. He's good in the ring. I haven't seen him cut a great promo. But, you know, WWE doesn't really give you great promos. However, I still haven't ever seen him cut a great promo. I've seen him have some really good matches, though, so I've got high hopes for him. Speaking of really good promos, the Kenny Omega Don Callis promo was pretty good. The crowd was just on fire in this one. Evil Uno shows up after, of course, Don Callis says that they've beaten everybody in AEW. There's nobody left for Kenny to beat. The crowd starts chanting cowboy shit, and we want Hangman. The crowd is just on fire for Hangman. The Dark Order comes out. Everybody goes just ape shit in Miami. People are going crazy. Uno wants to know why Kenny's afraid of Hangman. Kenny asks Uno what the capital of Thailand is, and then Uno goes to answer, and Kenny kicks him in the balls and says, Bangkok! Good one, Kenny. And then the Dark Order jump in, and Grayson starts attacking Kenny, but he gets taken out, and then the Good Brothers show up, and they take out the rest of the Dark Order there, and then Hangman shows up, and he takes out Nakazawa, he takes out the Good Brothers. He goes face-to-face with Kenny, and it is electric. Like, the building, everybody's on their feet. It is crazy. And then Carl Anderson jumps on the apron, distracts Hangman. Kenny escapes. But, my goodness. Crowd going crazy for Hangman Page. That man is over. The cowboy shit chants, the we want Hangman chants. And then when he finally gets face-to-face there with Kenny Omega, electric. That was a moment right there. What did you think about how over Hangman was?
Well, it's probably one of the better parts of the show, without question. And, I mean, I'm kind of surprised in a sense that we're getting it this quick. I thought they were going to wait till the next pay-per-view in November, but it really seems like we're getting it now. Like, they're really starting that slow build. We got the face-off already, so, I mean, we're pretty much, almost 2 months away from the next pay-per-view? I mean, it feels like that's you got to do now at this point.
You might have to build it. I think that's a pay-per-view match. I really do, but it does seem like we're headed there a little bit faster.
Well, it's still slow. I mean, you got a face-off. That's about it.
Yeah. My goodness. That match is going to be great. The build has been great. I don't know if you have Hangman win. Would you have Hangman win at the pay-per-view in early September?
It's tough because it feels like it's a little too early. If it was November, I'd say yes. But yeah, if it's in September, it's rough. I don't know. Like I want to say yes, but I also feel like it feels like it's too early for Kenny to lose.
Yeah. I think you build Hangman even more if he does lose to Kenny. I think it just adds to the build of when he finally does take it from Kenny. I think Kenny beats him again. But I think it'll be a great match, and they'll tell a tremendous story. I want to give a shout-out to Angelo, who's watching us and watching the Habs game. Angelo, of course, one of the legends of the Ringside Report Network. Angelo says 10 minutes to go in the Habs season. That's too bad. Well, it's 1-0, so the Canadians just down 1-0 here with just under 10 minutes to go in the third period. So you never know what might happen in this game. I know Johnny North has his eye on the game as well, wearing his Canadians jersey. Very excited about this game. Hopefully they win and they can stay in. Shout out to everybody on the chat. Mako, I see you. TK wants to know where Glenn is. Glenn is watching hockey. He should be back next week with us. Hockey will be over by next Wednesday night, no matter what happens, even if they go to 7 games. So Glenn should be back with us next Wednesday night after Dynamite. Lauren Cronish in the chat as well. Shout out to Lauren. Don't forget to hit us up on Super Chat. Don't forget to become a member of the team if you haven't joined already. Join. Hit that join button right beneath me if you're watching us on YouTube. There's a join button right down there. Click it. Become a member. Support the Ringside Report Network so that we can continue doing all these shows that we're doing. I mean, if we're going to be back in full effect, you know, it's a lot of shows we're going to be doing. I'm going to have a busy week here. I was on Monday. I'm on tonight. I'm going to be back on tomorrow with Ringside Report MMA. We're going to preview the Conor McGregor fight. I think Johnny and I will be back here Friday night, although I don't know, John. I'll have to check with you to see. I guess if the Habs lose tonight, yes. If the Habs win tonight, no. And then Saturday night, that's fair to say. And then on Saturday night, I'll be back on again for the UFC 264 Watch Along with AJ and Freddie. So, good God Almighty, I'm pretty busy. So support the Ringside Report Network, will you? Keep us going. Give me the energy. Your support feeds the energy. I need energy. Huh? Sorry, John.
It's not a bad thing, though. It's not a bad thing. You have a UFC pay-per-view. That's usually a big thing. Conor McGregor fight. That's usually one of the biggest events of the year. So, I mean, you should be pretty excited about that.
I mean, yeah, but I'm tired, you know. I'm doing a lot of shit.
Well, you're just coming off apparently the worst rated Raw of all time. So
was it the worst?
I'm not surprised.
It was pretty bad. Did you see my Raw post show on Monday?
I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Oh.
But I can imagine it's pretty bad.
It's just nothing happened. Because they already built all their Money in the Bank qualifiers and all their matches like 2 weeks ago. So they got nothing left to do.
Still 2 weeks left?
Yeah. They have one more episode of Raw before the pay-per-view, but they've already fucking booked everything. So they're like, nothing left. They built their shows. It's like they thought Money in the Bank was 2 weeks ago. It's like they're really confused. SmackDown's done a much better job of kind of spacing it out. Raw was really bad this week. It hasn't been that bad over the past couple weeks, but this past Monday was like really a bad show. Just overall bad. Nothing redeeming about the show whatsoever. Nothing.
Well, the good thing about both Raw and SmackDown is they're going to get a boost because, you know, finally WWE next week is going back. Or wait, next week for SmackDown.
Yeah.
For SmackDown. Yeah, because Raw is going to be taped still in the Thunderdome next week.
Yeah.
But SmackDown, at least, will be with a live crowd again. So, not this Friday, but next Friday, at least WWE will be brought back to life, in a sense.
Oh, they really will be, too, because the crowd is going to be all over them. I think the crowd is just going to be enraged. Just booing everything, yelling at people. You thought it was bad when one guy jumped the rail? What happens when 20 guys jump the rail for a WWE show? Because we're like, fuck you, this sucks. We're not standing for this bullshit anymore. Everybody's just jumping the rail, going crazy.
It could
Fucking Roman
happen.
Reigns starts doing
Sadly.
a promo. Everybody just riots. They're like, fuck this. We've had it.
I'd worry more about if someone like went after one of the women wrestlers. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
My God, John. Yeah, I mean, that's horrible. I was kind of playfully talking about a riot, attacking Roman Reigns, who's like a big, beefy dude. You took it to a scary place. Scary, dark place.
Man,
Once again, that's
wrestlers,
what you do.
fans are scary. Fans are very scary. You should know fans. You've met them.
I'm one of them. I am a
There
fan.
you go.
I'm not that scary.
I didn't say that, but you said it. You said it, like not me.
Well, I have never jumped the rail. I kind of slapped Roman Reigns once, but that was not my fault.
You've witnessed it, though.
What?
You've seen it. You've seen it, though. You've seen people jump the rails. You've been at shows where it's happened.
Oh, yeah. It happens. I mean, I've been at shows where promoters have screwed wrestlers in the middle of the arena. Said that he tapped out, but, he didn't even tap out. Everybody saw he didn't tap out, man. And then he was like, ring the bell. And then, the guy got totally screwed, man. You know the guy I'm talking about. I don't have to say his name. You know the incident I'm referring. But I've seen a lot of weird shit. I saw a guy die and then come back to life, wearing the crown and everything. I've seen a lot of weird shit. What else happened? Ethan Page and Darby Allin. I liked that interview with Jim Ross. That was good shit. Is there a coffin match next week?
I think so. I don't know if they confirmed that or not.
It's either next week or the week after. I think the match will be good because Darby's always good. That was a good little backstage promo there about their history and who they are and all that stuff. That was good. I liked it.
Well, it's good because, I didn't really know much about their history, so it was nice they finally, enlightened us about what it was all about with them. One was, wrestling for 12 years, one just started, but they're on the same level, and there was resentment there. I mean, thank you. You gave us something, just this whole, oh, yeah, we used to wrestle each other. That's all we had before. Now you guys gave us a little bit of background, so that was nice.
Yeah, it was very vague. They were kind of alluding to a history that they had, and we didn't really know anything about it. And tonight, they finally kind of did the promo, and I feel like this promo should have happened 3 weeks ago, but, seeing it tonight, I was like, oh, okay. So Darby was like a young wrestler, and Ethan Page was like an older wrestler, and, he kind of helped Darby along and maybe roughed him up a little bit, and Ethan Page is mad that Darby's a big star in AEW, and he got to AEW first, and Ethan Page thinks Darby doesn't deserve it, and Darby was like, it's not my fault that you stayed home in your hometown and had a wife and kids and had to, live a responsible life while I slept in my car and sacrificed everything for the wrestling business. And I was like, geez, Darby. Really went there with the promo. That's good shit. I wasn't really sure who the babyface was. I know Darby's supposed to be the babyface, but in that promo, I wasn't sure.
Well, I felt it was Darby. I mean, he kind of said it. He sacrificed more than Ethan Page did. Ethan Page was just confined to his own little habitat, and that was it. I mean, you give him credit for the fact that he was a family man. Fine, all right. But Darby Allin sacrificed a lot more. He sacrificed, being with a family. He just wanted to be on the road and just trying to, just scrape by living in his car. To me, he really pushed himself to make it, where Ethan Page didn't push himself that hard.
I don't really see that, though, because Ethan Page was in Impact Wrestling. He was kind of a big deal there. He's in AEW now. He looks more jacked and everything than Darby. Ethan Page also Canadian, so it's a lot harder for him to get all the work in the States that Darby got. I don't really buy that. Just because nobody's wanted to procreate with Darby, just because nobody wants to see your penis, Darby, doesn't mean you got to shit all over guys who people enjoy seeing the penis of. How about that? I'm just sticking up for the dads who, want to, saying People want to procreate with Ethan Page. Nobody wants to have Darby's baby. Women are leaving Darby.
Like,
no, he's not. Yeah. Divorced.
He was. He's divorced. Yeah, I know.
She left him. She went to NXT. She said, "Fuck you, Darby. I'm going to NXT. Maybe I could fuck that Bronson guy." That big handsome fella. What?
I think Darby will be okay. He's going to be in the new Jackass movie, so he'll be fine.
He is? They're still making Jackass movies? I thought Johnny Knoxville died.
No, it was another one of the guys that died. It wasn't him.
But Steve-O's like not on drugs anymore. Can he still do things?
Pretty sure he's in the movie too.
By the way, have you ever seen a man? Have you ever seen a man who's clean and sober who seems like fucked up? Like Steve-O. Steve-O's not on drugs, but he seems like he's really on drugs. You know, like I think he's totally clean because it's just like residual effects, man. That's just not out of his system yet. What the fuck was he doing? Steve-O's like, I'm clean and sober, man. And it's like, what the fuck are you on, man? What?
He was probably doing too much of everything at one point in time. Because every night was probably a party for him, you know, like doing all that crazy stuff he was doing. He was probably on so much drugs. So, I mean, that stuff catches up to you, and it just caught up to him. Thankfully, he's still alive, though.
Yeah, God bless.
I mean, you got to think about that.
But I thought Johnny Knoxville's like his whole back was broken, his knees are broken. Like Johnny Knoxville's broken down. How is he still in Jackass movies? Is it gonna be him, or is just Darby gonna do all the stunts for him?
I imagine Darby's only gonna do a bunch of it. He's not gonna do everything. Like I imagine Steve-O's gonna do a lot, as you would expect.
Is Bam Margera?
I'm sure they're gonna have new guys too.
Is Bam Margera? I don't know if Bam's in it.
Yeah, I don't know if Bam's gonna be in it because I know there was some heat there.
Oh.
So I don't know if Bam's in it.
What about Chris Pontius? Wasn't he a guy?
Possibly, but I don't know if he's still alive. Because I think more than one of them died, so I can't remember. It's been so long. You'd have to look that up.
I'm going to Google Jackass guy who died and see. Ryan Dunn. All right. I'm not really sure who that was.
I'd have to see his face. It's been so long.
Rest in peace.
I mean, when you think about it, Jackass 3, like, has it been 10 years already? Like, it feels like it's been so long.
Wasn't there, like, a 3D Jackass?
Well, that's what I'm talking about, the third one, yeah.
Jackass 4 is actually coming out, but Johnny Knoxville. Steve-O.
Darby Allin.
Oh, no Bam Margera. Oh, Eric Andre. Francis Ngannou's going to be in this?
I'm not surprised. There'd be
Shaquille O'Neal, Francis Ngannou, and Eric Andre are going to be in this. Eric Andre makes a lot of sense. Eric Andre is like very Jackass-ish.
Wouldn't be surprised if, Steve-O takes like a punch from Francis or something. Be fun to watch, no?
I'd like to see Darby take a punch from Francis. I think that would be more fun to watch. Angelo says 2 minutes to go. They just pulled Carey Price. Pulled the old goalie. They got no goalie. So the Canadians really pushing. They need a goal here. They got 1 minute, 40 seconds left in this game. Oh, now they're making Carey Price go back in the goalie spot. Not looking good, Johnny.
Well, it's not looking good, but you're just talking about like UFC and like wrestling. We kind of had that tonight for whatever reason. I don't know if they were trying to start an angle or just like, well, we happen to have these guys there, like, so let's use them, I guess. Like, it was interesting. Like, I wasn't sure what was going on, but it caught my interest, that's for sure.
It was weird, right?
Well, that was cool. George Masvidal was there, and
what did you call him?
I don't know. I don't know how to say his name. That just scored?
George Masvidal?
Yeah. And Amanda Nunes, I think, was there too.
There you go. Amanda Nunes and George Masvidal were there with Dan Lambert, who owns American Top Team. Now, Dan Lambert also has like a tremendous belt collection. I don't think you watched the Most Wanted Treasures, that WWE show where they look for memorabilia, but he was in one of them, and he's like a big wrestling fan. And he's got a lot of old belts, like real kind of belts from all sorts of wrestling and MMA companies. And he's also been in Impact. Like, this isn't his first time in a pro wrestling ring. I don't know if you remember when Bobby Lashley was doing his whole run as Impact World Champion, Dan Lambert was right by his side with Kobe Covington, and Masvidal might have shown up a couple times as well. But Lambert's been in the ring cutting promos in pro wrestling many times before. He did a whole run in Impact.
Well, you can kind of tell that promo, like, he knew what he was doing. Like, it's not like he just went out there and just, I'm going to talk for a while. Like, he knew how to cut a wrestling promo, so not surprised by that. That's good.
He was Bobby Lashley's manager in Impact Wrestling for a while there when Bobby was doing the kind of MMA gimmick, and he was the world champion. They were doing good shit, actually. I liked the Dan Lambert stuff with Bobby back then. I thought that was some of the best work Bobby's ever done. So Dan Lambert shows up, and he's in the crowd with Masvidal and Amanda Nunes. Masvidal and Nunes, of course, UFC fighters. Nunes is the greatest women's fighter of all time. She's the double champ at 135 and 145. Nobody's touching Amanda Nunes. And Jorge Masvidal is a 170-pound fighter in the UFC. And he's got a big name. He's very good. He's a very good fighter. Dan gets on the mic and then gets into the ring. Like, he's like, get out of here, Tony Schiavone. I don't care about you. I'm going to go into the ring. And he goes in and he starts talking about how Dustin Poirier, his guy, an American Top Team guy, because Dan Lambert is like a rich guy who owns American Top Team, which is a huge MMA gym in the Miami area. And a lot of the top fighters in the world train there, including Dustin Poirier, who is going to knock out Conor McGregor again on Saturday night. And then Lambert goes in on AEW and says AEW sucks, and if I wanted to watch real wrestling, I would watch old championship wrestling from Florida in the 70s, and wrestling died in the late 1990s, and Tony Khan doesn't know what he's doing, and wrestling's totally downhill, and AEW is unwatchable. Lambert says he's 90 minutes into the show, and he was right. This is terrible stuff. Lance Archer then shows up to attack Dan Lambert, attacks him a bit, hits him with his big blackout finisher, and that was it. Just Archer comes out, beats up Dan Lambert, who just runs down modern-day professional wrestling, and Jorge Masvidal and Amanda Nunes do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Patrick C. Hamilton dropping a super chat. He says, game over. The Canadians have lost. The Tampa Bay Lightning are the Stanley Cup winners. They've won the Stanley Cup. The game is over. The series is over. Tampa wins the fifth and final game. 1-0. Tampa, Stanley Cup champions. Sorry, John. Sorry for your loss, Habs fans. Sorry that they weren't able to win. But, hey, I mean, they went a lot further than anyone expected this year. So you got to give it to them. As AJ would say, you got to give it to them. Unfortunate that they lose, but there's always next year, and it seems like the team is a lot better than people expected. So maybe they'll win next year, figure out what went wrong, and get the victory next year. Right, Johnny?
Well, we all live in certain moments, so enjoy the moment. We got to live in this. That's it.
No. Are you sad? You kind of knew this.
I'm very sad.
But down 3-0, you kind of expected it at this point, right?
It's still sad, no matter what.
Angelo drops a super chat. He says it was a great season, Johnny. I agree. I think it was great for them to get all the way here. Thank you, Angelo, for the super chat. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel tonight. Angelo, once again, the leader. But yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. It's disappointing that they lose. It's disappointing when your favorite team loses. But there's always next year. And I'll tell you what, John, as disappointing as this may feel, all right, let me tell you one thing. It is surely disappointing when your favorite team loses, but I can assure you, I'm quite certain that it is more. I never saw them make the playoffs. The one season where they were the best team in baseball, the fucking baseball called a strike, and there was no World Series that year. And now the team no longer exists. So, you know, at least the Canadians still exist, John. They'll be here next year.
It's just, it took 28 years for this to happen. So, I mean, again, enjoy the moments while you have them, because you never know when they come again. So
there you go. That is correct. So, Dan Lambert, what did you think about all that? What did you think about his promo running down modern-day wrestling? Sounded like Jim Cornette.
Well, I mean, yes and no. Like, I mean, it's more of just like, you kind of felt like he was a wrestling fan, and you kind of like knew he liked what he was talking about. You just like, you kind of knew like it was just kind of him just playing like a character pretty much. I guess it kind of hurts too, the fact that you saw this in Impact somewhat as well. So like you knew like, he was kind of in on the whole wrestling bit a bit. So like, I wasn't too surprised something happened. I was more surprised he took like an actual bump and all that. I thought, someone else would take the bump for him. So that was kind of cool that he actually took the finish from Archer. Well, why no?
You think Amanda Nunes is going to take that bump for him? She's fighting soon. You think Masvidal's going to take that bump?
I'm not saying the Stars take the bump. I'm saying like one of his security guys or something. I'm not saying the Stars.
When you said somebody else, I was like who? Masvidal? It's crazy talk.
No, of course not. They're bigger stars than he is.
Oh yeah,
You wouldn't do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
he likes it though. He likes wrestling. He'll take a bump as long as he knows Archer's not going to kill him. He likes it.
He was living in that moment right there.
Yeah, he's a big fan. Look at you talking about living in moments. That's your catchphrase tonight. What are you, Jeff Hardy?
He's supposed to be bringing that back. No, it's not live for the moment, but his song thing, like he's bringing it back. So
live.
Jeff Hardy's coming back
for the moment.
Well, it's no more words. I think that's what he's bringing back. But
so you see the writing on the wall. That song?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's a good song. I mean, it really suits him.
That song?
I believe so.
Is Jeff Hardy still like a thing?
Yeah, he's just not, a threat, but he's still a thing.
He's like not really on TV either.
Well, I think they're waiting like for the moment to get him to come back, I guess.
Say moment one more time.
Moment?
This is every time. All right, sorry.
Okay.
Is a paradox, a mystery, a riddle. So the Young Bucks beat Eddie Kingston and Pentagon via pinfall after a super kick. And I think Eddie Kingston had like tacks in his face. Where did those tacks come from?
Well, they were all over the place. Didn't he bring them into the match?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of his fault.
That match was all over the place. Matt Jackson took a Canadian destroyer off the apron, through a table from Pentagon. That was a tremendous bump. Nick Jackson hit like a 450 on the referee at one point to stop the ref from seeing Matt Jackson tap out. Pentagon took a Frankensteiner from the top rope into thumbtacks. I mean, it was just crazy. Just crazy shit happening left and right. I thought that match was really fun. And if, the mixed tag wasn't match of the night, I kind of feel like this was. I know you like the opener, but I'm kind of wavering between this match, the main event here, the Bucks crazy street fight, and then the mixed tag. But I think I'm leaning towards this street fight. I really liked it. It was just wild.
Well, I mean, that's all it was, though. I mean, it was just chaotic, which is fine, but I mean, it's not really much of a match. It's just a lot of craziness happening. I didn't think it started off very well. I didn't like that spot with Nakazawa. I thought that was kind of crummy
Yeah.
that they did. You saw they forced it too. Like, I didn't like that. Like, but I mean, for the most part, it was fine. You know, just a lot of craziness that happened. I don't know if it was better than. Was it better than last week? I don't think it was better than last week, though.
I don't know. Refresh my memory. What was last week?
Well, last week was when they beat them, right? They got the title shot.
Yeah. I thought this was better. Crazier moves.
Yeah. Well, I guess it made more sense because there was problem with a lot of the Bucks matches. It's too like chaotic. Where I mean, you really disrespect the rules completely. Where this, it's like, well, you can disrespect the rules. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I guess there's that. That's fine. But I just thought because like there's not much wrestling involved. It's just brawling. Like I just thought there was more action in terms of the moves, right? Like this was just more in terms of like the stunts they pulled off, which was still very good. But I also felt like I don't know like how you felt about this, but in no way did I ever feel that Penta or Eddie were going to win the match.
No, but I never thought that they would. It's for the tag team titles. They're not going to be tag team champions. I never, ever thought that they would just win the tag team titles here. They have no reason to. But, you know, it kind of delivered and maybe over-delivered on what I expected. I expected the Bucks to retain, which they did. Fine. I expected it, you know, a street fight to be a lot of stunts. And the Young Bucks, you know, they deliver chaos in their matches. And Pentagon and Eddie Kingston, you know, that's kind of what they give as well, especially Pentagon. And they kind of over-delivered with the stunts. Like, I thought that the stunts that they pulled off were incredible. That Canadian Destroyer that Matt Jackson took off the apron through the table, jeez, brother. That was rough.
No, it was good. Like, you know, they did some good stuff tonight. Like, there's no question. I get why it was the main event because, I mean, if you flip-flop the strap match and this, like, it's kind of hard because, like, there's a lot of craziness to start a show like that. It's too much. So I understand that. But it's tough when you book two matches like that because I felt like a lot of the middle, it was hard to keep up with, like, those kind of matches. You know, like, to start off so hot with the strap match and then, you know, you could finally get to the end with the street fight, but it's tough.
But we had some good promos in between. You know, we had the good matches to kind of bookend the show. I thought the Dan Lambert promo was interesting. I thought the Kenny Omega promo there with Hangman, that segment was good. I thought the Chris Jericho MJF promo was all right as well, but I was a little bit confused as to what they settled on. They signed a contract, but it wasn't a contract to wrestle each other. It was a contract for Jericho. Match. Is that what it is? Jericho has to beat four guys before. I thought Jericho would have to beat a series of guys over several weeks, like several matches, and then he faces MJF at some point if he could beat everybody. It really wasn't clear what the hell they were doing in that. Did they set up a match where it's like Jericho, it's a gauntlet where Jericho has to beat like 3-4 other guys, like all of the, you know, pinnacle before fighting MJF at the end of a match? Like, that seems long. Seems like a very long time for Jericho to wrestle on TV. Is that wise?
Right.
A gauntlet for Jericho at this point in his career? I can't imagine they're actually going to do that.
Well, no, I think it's a gauntlet in the sense that he's going to wrestle these series of matches over a period of time. Like, he has to run the gauntlet, but not an actual gauntlet match. He has to run the gauntlet, but just like, probably like you say, week after week, he has to have a match.
So over the next 4 weeks, he'll have to wrestle Dax and Smash, or whatever his name is.
Cash.
Right. Wardlow.
Sean
and
Spears.
the other guy. And the other guy. Yeah. And then he'll beat all those guys, and then he'll have to wrestle MJF. Like, okay. Meanwhile, it's just like, we're going to watch Jericho wrestle Sean Spears in a match Jericho's going to win. Meh.
Well, he's going to win he's going to wrestle MJF. He's going to win all those matches. That's
why the setup for this is kind of like, well, you're setting us up for 4 matches where you already know the outcome. It's not like Jericho's going to beat like Dax and then lose to Smash the next week. It's not going to happen. He's going to beat one. He's going to beat the next guy. What, is he not going to face MJF at the end? That'd be funny. Jericho's like, all right, I'm going to do the gauntlet. 1 week he wins. Next week loses. And it's like, that's it. You lost, Jericho. You suck. It's not going to happen. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't love it, and the way they got there wasn't the best, but the crowd was into the promo, so that was fun. Jericho and MJF were fun together, and the crowd was hot for it, so that was good. What did you think? First of all, I want to thank Patrick C. Hamilton dropping the super chat. He says, thanks for entertaining us since the Jets season ended. Yeah. The Canadians eliminated the Jets, right? Did I get that right?
That's right, yeah.
Wow. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so Patrick, I mean, come on, John. I know you're bummed out, but Patrick, he's a big Jets fan. He didn't even make the Stanley Cup Finals. And the Jets haven't won Stanley Cups, have they? Ever?
I don't believe so, no.
Man, and they got their team taken away, too. Patrick knows the pain of having your team ripped from you. The Jets were gone for a long time. Then they came back. Hopefully one day my Expos will come back, but Patrick gets it, I feel for Patrick. Patrick repping a team that, doesn't win that much, disappeared for a while, then came back, doesn't win championships, favored in a series against the Canadians, gets swept, right? I mean, that sucks. So, I'm just saying, John, it's sad for you, but other people have deeper sports sadness. It's like when the Yankees don't win. If the Yankees were to lose in the World Series, I'd be pissed off, but we've won a lot. It's like France got eliminated. France got eliminated from Switzerland in the Euro Cup. You don't think I was pissed off? We lost on penalty kicks in the Euro Cup, okay? Penalties. You don't think I was pissed? I was pissed, but you know what? We won the last World Cup, so it's not so bad. We were in the finals of the last Euro. We won the last World Cup. This time we got eliminated in the round of 16. Did it sting? Yeah, it stings. But, it's different when you're a winner and you lose. When you're a loser and you just lose again, it, like an Expos fan, it just hurts. It just hurts.
Well, the Jets are actually doing pretty well. I mean, yeah, they didn't beat the Canadians, but they're consistently making the playoffs and at least getting past the first round almost every time they get to the playoffs. So the Jets are actually on the upscale. Like, yeah, it's too bad what happened this season, but they're consistently getting better. So, things are going good for the Jets.
But when you're a franchise that's never won the big one, it's hard, It's hard to get over that hump.
Well, it was hard because they've been gone for so long, too. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, they only recently came back. So,
yeah.
But they've come back, and they've been a strong team. I mean, I would say the Jets, besides the Canadians and the Leafs, the Jets are probably the third strongest team in Canada.
All right. Well, there you go. So hopefully the Jets do well next year and the Canadians do well. I'm rooting for both, all the Canadian teams, even the Leafs. I know our friend Antoinette is a big Leafs fan. I know our friend Antoinette out in Toronto is very happy because she's also of Italian heritage, as is Johnny North, as is my man AJ, and I know everybody's celebrating. All my Italian friends are celebrating, and a lot of English people celebrating as well. My man Andy out in England, I'm sure he's hyped. England versus Italy in the Euro Cup final on Sunday. That's pretty cool. That's cool.
It's a big game.
Denmark, Italy would have been all right, but England, Italy is blockbuster, It's big. It's a big game. It's a big marquee matchup there for the Euro Cup final. Angelo dropping the super chat. He says, thank you for informing us during this incredible Habs run. Well, thank you, Angelo, for supporting the Ringside Report Network. You are once again the super chat leader. Thank you, buddy. And yeah, I mean, it's been lonely during this Habs run. Johnny hasn't been here with me, so selfishly, I'm going to say
like a week or two.
No, several shows, John. I guess. No, it was like everything around Hell in a Cell. Like you didn't watch that with me, you know.
It was only 2 shows. It was only 2 shows.
3 at least.
I was here last Friday.
Last Friday you were not here.
Oh no, not last Friday, but the Friday before that. So I missed 3.
3, yeah.
That's not that bad.
All right. Oh, my dad says the Jets won the WHA championships 3 times before joining the NHL. I don't know what that means.
Well, it's not the NHL. It's not the Stanley Cup. They didn't win the Stanley Cup, so.
Similar.
I mean, sure, and some people, but I don't know.
All right.
I mean, the Stanley Cup is so difficult to win, kind of thing. You know, it's like trying to win the World Series. It's one of the hardest things to win. You have to go through so many series against tough teams.
Well, you know, it's good. You know, people will now, you know, that hockey is over no matter what. Hockey's done, and people are going to come back and start watching wrestling. I know a lot of people like you, Johnny North, and Glenn, of course, tonight, you know, not watching wrestling because of hockey, because, you know, the Canadians have gone so far. A lot of Canadians fans, not just in Montreal, but all around the country. And I think a lot of those people are going to get back to watching professional wrestling. So, welcome back. Welcome back to wrestling.
Well, I think the Euro has to end too for some people, but yeah, for
Sunday.
the most part.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. And then I guess the Olympics will start at some point, but who gives a shit about that, right?
That's August, I think. End of August or something like that?
I have no idea. No idea. What did you think of Andrade's in-ring debut? Andrade beat Matt Sydal, hit the hammerlock DDT for the pinfall.
I thought he looked huge, Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his back looked gigantic. I don't know, like, he's obviously been working out a lot more now because I guess he had a little more free time, but he looked like in phenomenal shape. Not that he was ever in bad shape, but he just looked a bit bigger than usual. Still can move around very well. Moves great.
Are you thinking
Sydal's
he might be... sorry, John. Do you think he might be, you know, in Mexico eating some of that special meat they got there to make you extra jacked like Canelo was eating? Tainted meat, possibly?
I think he's staying in the States. It's just, you know, he's just training harder, that's all. I don't think he's doing anything too much out of the ordinary that he hasn't already been doing. He's just probably putting more hours in.
He just looked big and tall and everything. I think next to Matt Sydal, he looks big, but like a lot of these guys that come from WWE that looked, I think because you're used to seeing him in WWE next to all these giants, when they come to AEW, they look quite a bit bigger. Like Aleister Black looked big tonight. Miro looks gigantic. And in WWE, he was like, you know, a big guy, but not a monster. In AEW, Miro is a freak monster. Mm-hmm. I think that has a lot to do with it. Like you've seen Andrade for so long in WWE where he's kind of a mid-range, mid-sized guy, but now in AEW, which is a smaller company, you know, size-wise, a lot of the guys are smaller. He looks a lot bigger. I think he's probably put on a little bit of size and muscle. You know, he's in good shape. He's been working out, but I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, you're used to seeing him in WWE, which is still the land of the giants. Like Bobby Lashley, if he showed up, he'd look crazy, you know? In WWE, he looks big, but like, you know, Drew McIntyre's there, and there's so many big fucking guys in WWE. Drew McIntyre would look huge in AEW. Huge, you know? So, it's just because I think you've seen him in WWE. I don't think he looked that different than the last time I'd seen him. Just, he's in a different company now.
Well, it's just the lighting too, I guess. Like, I feel like in WWE, everything just looks big, right? Just the whole setup and everything. So the wrestlers kind of look smaller than they actually are in a sense. For AEW, it feels like it's a lot more up close, the camera angles, it feels like. So That's maybe why the wrestlers feel bigger.
Yeah. The camera angle was weird tonight too, right?
Well,
You
it felt
notice
like it
that?
was closer to the ring. It felt
Well,
like it was closer to the ring.
the hard camera was on the stage.
Right.
That's not usual.
Well, it's not a usual setup that they had there. I mean, have they ever had a show in Miami like that? I don't think they have.
No, but WWE has shows in arenas all around the world, and they figure out where to put the hard camera the same place every time.
Right. Yeah. AEW does it differently.
I didn't like
I
it.
actually think it's a good idea. Well, I think it's a good idea because it gives a different feel for each show.
But, John, when they get in the ring, they pose to the hard camera, and they're posing to the stage. So there's no people to react to their pose. So they pose, and the crowd is like, could you look at us? They don't react.
Yeah, but
It's
you've
not
seen that
good.
in WWE too. You've seen that in WWE when they've done TV tapings. We were there for SmackDown. They go to the hard cam. There's nobody on the hard cam side.
There's some
Everyone,
people.
very few.
Well, not
Very
on
few, though.
SmackDown. Not on SmackDown because that SmackDown show was very sparsely attended. But on a Raw show, like if the building is full, you're going to
Right.
get a reaction. And there's going to be people in front of you. At least you're going to get the reaction of the first few rows on the floor in front of you. And you're going to hear them pop. And you're going to feel that energy. But the guys now, they come out. They look at the stage. They do their pose. No one pops. The crowd is kind of like dead because they're like, well, you look stupid. Because in the arena, you see these guys posing to a stage. So the crowd is like, huh? Imagine you're in an arena. Somebody comes out. They turn around to the stage and they fucking pose to that. They're playing to no audience there. You have a packed arena on 3 sides, and you're going to play to the 4th side with nobody there. It's fucked. It's fucking stupid. I was like, why is the hard camera on the stage? What are they doing? They're posing to the stage? No bueno. Fix that. Seriously, the more I talk about it, the more I'm getting mad about it. I'm like, seriously, it's fucking stupid. Imagine you're in a building and you see guys posing to the stage. Hey, look at me, stage.
Well, because the TV, like, there's more people watching the TV, so it makes sense why they do it. I'm just saying.
No, doesn't, because you could put the camera somewhere else. And then the people on TV could hear the fucking people in the arena reacting to the people posing to them.
But you get people in the shot as well, so it's okay. Like, you get people in the background. It looks good. It looks great.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't sound good. And, like, the crowd isn't really popping. Like, they don't. I'm telling you, go back and watch all the entrances. The crowd is like, huh? WWE does it right.
I'll watch
they
it
do
again.
that right. I'm telling you, the WWE does it right. The guys come in on one side. They don't pose to that side ever. Hulk Hogan, when he would go in the ring and do the huh, this side, huh, this side, huh, this side, he wouldn't go huh, stage, because there's nobody there.
Well, really, how it works is like it's the hard cam, and you go there no matter what. So it
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
obviously.
Like that's how it
But that's what
used
I'm
to be for
saying.
Hogan. But
They should move the camera into the crowd. Anyways, John, I'm right. You're just arguing with me because you like doing it, but you know that I'm right. You do know that I'm right.
well, I'm saying you can argue it, but you'll lose the battle with the promoter. The promoter tells you look at the hard cam and make the pose. You do that because that's what they tell you to do.
Yeah. I'm saying the promoter should move the fucking camera. They should figure it out.
fine.
You disagree,
But
though?
the
But do you
wrestlers aren't
disagree with
wrong.
that? No, the wrestlers aren't wrong to pose to the hard cam. You have to pose to the hard cam. That's what you're doing. You're doing a TV show. I'm just saying the hard cam should have been in a different spot. They put it on the stage. It should not have been there. Anyways, do you think Carl Anderson's going to take the IWGP US title from Jon Moxley next week? I think he might. Anderson's a big star in New Japan. They want to bring him back. Like, he's going to go back to Japan at some point. Like, you know, if anybody's going to take it from Moxley, Carl Anderson makes a lot of sense. New Japan likes to keep that title on an American guy. Right. Moxley's held it for a long time. I don't know how often Moxley's really going to go to New Japan and wrestle. Carl Anderson seems like he and Gallows are headed back there and they're going to do, you know, a run. Coming back with the U.S. title that he won on Dynamite would make a ton of sense. I think they might do a switcheroo next week, put the belt on Carl Anderson. The only thing that makes me think they won't is because it's a New Japan belt. Do you really want to have it change hands on a non-New Japan show?
That's a good point, but I think also Moxley's coming off a loss. Last time we saw him, I think he lost. So he's not the kind of guy that loses usually back-to-back matches. So especially a championship, like he lost tag title championship match. I don't see him losing his own championship match, considering it's been a while since we've seen him wrestle as well. So I just don't see him losing again. I mean, unless there's just a parade of interference, which there very well could be. I just don't see him losing that again.
Yeah, and Carl Anderson hasn't been built strong enough to beat a guy like Jon Moxley on American TV. He hasn't been built strong enough in the States as a single star to be a legit threat to Jon Moxley. I think in Japan it could work, but maybe they do a rematch in Japan and Anderson takes it there. You know, I could see that happening. It just makes sense for Carl Anderson to be the champion. I just don't know if they do it here on Dynamite. I don't think Moxley's going to hold on to that belt for much longer because he's held it for so long. How about Brian Cage? He is the FTW champion. He's going to defend it against Ricky Starks next week. It seems like Ricky Starks is the one that's broken off from Team Taz. When it seemed like it was going to be Brian Cage, where is Taz on this?
I don't know. Like it feels like he was on, you know, both their sides, and now it feels like he was kind of upset with Ricky Starks doing his own little thing. So it's tough to see where this is going to land because maybe Taz is still going to line with Starks in the end. I don't know. It's just the fact that, you know, the FTW title, it's not much of anything title. Like, I can't remember the last time Brian Cage even defended it. Like, it's not a title that AEW needs to have. I feel like, you know, it's cool that they're wrestling each other. It's good for the feud, but we don't need this championship.
I kind of feel like it's a way for them to move on, get Brian Cage out of the group, and have Ricky Starks as the new centerpiece of the group of Team Taz. He's the main guy. He's the FTW champion. Team Taz helps him win, and they kick Brian Cage out of the group in the process. I feel like that's where we're headed.
Yeah, strong possibility of that.
I think the match will be good. It's been a nice long build. Speaking of good matches, Christian Cage versus Matt Hardy set for next week. I mean, yeah. I'm into that. I like those guys. I've been watching those guys since I was a child. And you know what? I'm still into watching them wrestle.
I think it's probably going to be the opening match, but I think it'll be solid. Should be all right. I think Christian's going to win, but it should be a good match.
Christian Cage debuted in the World Wrestling Federation in 1998.
Yeah.
I was 12.
It's been a while.
Right? 12, almost 13, I think, when Christian debuted. Imagine that.
I want to say Christian debuted and won a championship, too. He won the light heavyweight championship. He beat Taka Michinoku, if I'm not mistaken.
Holy shit, you're good. It was at In Your House Judgment Day on October the 18th, 1998. He did beat Taka Michinoku in his debut.
I forgot it was a pay-per-view, but I remembered it was a Sunday. I was thinking it was a Sunday Night Heat, but pay-per-view is good too.
Maybe it was on the Heat opener. You may have been. You may be right about that. No, it was on the pay-per-view.
Hopefully. Yeah, I was gonna say like a championship
Still.
match. I hope it made the pay-per-view.
Still, big credit. Big credit.
Well, it's just certain aspects in wrestling that kind of stand out. I mean, the whole Brood thing, kind of remember that.
Yeah, the Brood was good. Christian, Gangrel, Edge. How could you forget about the Brood? Christian should beat Matt Hardy next week, but maybe Matt Hardy's goons interfere and cause a win for Mattitude.
I don't see it. I mean, Matt, for the most part, he's just focusing on being a manager at this point, so he'll wrestle the odd matches here and there, but it's not his big thing. And Christian, it seems like at one point they're going to push him to face Kenny, so I think this is just another step for him to get to that point, so I think Christian's going to win this match.
Who do you think gets a title match against Kenny first, Christian or Hangman?
Feels like it's going to be Hangman, but, you know, after Hangman, I think it's going to be Christian.
Who is Kenny's opponent at All Out in September, Christian or Hangman?
It's going to be Hangman.
It's a long way away.
Not really. September? It'll come up quick.
I don't know, man. It's July 7th.
Hey, these Dynamites will go by so fast.
If you say so. I don't know.
It will. The summer goes by so fast, you know?
Yeah. September 5th, AEW's next pay-per-view, All Out. It'll be on a Sunday, and it will be in Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool stuff. AEW All Out, the next AEW pay-per-view. And that's about it. That's everything. That's all the things that I have for you tonight. Angelo Contagonis is our Super Chat leader of the night. Thank you very much, Angelo, for supporting the Ringside Report Network. Once again, Patrick C. Hamilton as well. Thank you for supporting the channel. We appreciate you. And everybody who is a member of the team, don't forget to join. Become a member of the YouTube channel. You can go to donate.ringsidereport.net. You can go to merch.ringsidereport.net. I am actually in the process.
Oh, don't throw anything down.
That was close, eh? That was a close one.
Yeah, it was very close.
But you know
I was scared for a second.
These things are very hard to tip over, and even if they do, they got a top on them, so the liquid's not going to spill. These are great mugs to have on your desk, and you saw I nudged it, but it's heavy. It doesn't tip over. Solid. And it's got my face on it. And you can get it over at merch.ringsidereport.net. I mean, can you believe it? AJ's face is on there. This is the MMA cup. We've got a Wrestling Uncensored mug up there. Merch.ringsidereport.net. You see this? This is a sketchbook. Okay, I bought this because I'm coming up with designs because we're going to release a line of merch. All right? It's going to be a few pieces of some dope merch that I am currently in the process of designing. All right, I smoke a little number. I sit back and I think, all right, what's some fresh clothing? What is fresh and what do I want to copy and what do I want to steal and what do I just want to make original? Coming up with some beautiful concepts for everybody. I can't wait to release the next line. The first Dave Simon exclusive Team Dave Elite line of Ringside Report merch. It's going to be, I'm telling you, fucking beautiful. I'm pretty hyped about it. The Dave Simon Elite Collection. There's going to be fucking Team Dave merch. I've got a Team Dave shirt that I've designed that's like fucking awesome. Team Dave. Get you a Team Fred shirt if you want. Team AJ even Team AJ. It's possible. Everything's possible. But the Team Dave Simon exclusive Ringside Report collection is coming soon. Coming real soon, John. All right? Everybody else, don't forget to like this video. If you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on Twitch, you're watching on YouTube, like this very video. You can all like it. There's a like button on all the things. Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Like it. Subscribe to the channel while you're at it. That way, you're with us. You're with us, and we know you're with us, and we appreciate you being with us. All right? And that's it. That's it. Thank you, Angelo. Angelo says, see you tomorrow night, Dave. Can't wait for the breakdown of McGregor Poirier 3. I can't wait to do it tomorrow night with Freddie and AJ. A little hiatus. Couple holidays on Thursday nights, but we are back after a couple of weeks off. The Ringside Report team is back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will be previewing the Conor McGregor fight. It's fight week, and I just saw that Dave Chappelle and Donald Trump will be at the fight on Saturday night, so that's big stuff. All right, and we'll be watching the fights live, watch along for you here on the Ringside Report Network for the UFC pay-per-view on Saturday. Thank you, Johnny, for being back. Congratulations to the Tampa Lightning on the Stanley Cup victory, and congratulations to the Canadians on a hard-fought season. Talk to you all again tomorrow night.